Hi everyone and welcome back. My name is OP and you probably clicked this video because you know how expensive it is to PPF your car. I've gotten quotes for between like $1,000 and $3,000 for full frontal, which is a lot of money, especially for something that you're probably going to daily drive or like beat on. So I just wanted to see if I can do some of this myself by getting some bulk PPF, and I'm also going to get some cut film and PPF the other headlights, so we can kind of compare and see if it's really possible to, I guess, do this yourself. Okay, so starting off, you can kind of see the headlight is pretty clean and clear. I'm gonna clean it some more, use some detailing spray, then use some alcohol. I'm not gonna clay bar it or polish it or anything like that because I don't need to, because this is a test video. I don't plan to have this shoddy PPF job work done on the headlights and then keep it forever. Starting off, what do you need? So you need some film, obviously, slip solution, tack solution, detail spray, and your squeegees. I have a knife thing here, which comes in very handy, and LED lights so I can really see what I'm doing. So starting off with the clean detailing spray, then tack solution, then alcohol, then more cleaning. We obviously need to get it super clean before we start to put anything down. So what I'm trying to show here is that there's two sheets. There's a white backing and there's something that feels like vinyl, and then the film is in between. So you heard that loud sigh? That's probably because I made a mistake. If you look at the top right corner, you're gonna see my really weird cut, just trying to get around the bumper angle. And you know, times like this is when I realize, okay, maybe I should just be doing the pre-cuts. TLDR, honestly, just do a pre-cuts. Don't bother with bulk. There's a reason even the professionals use pre-cuts these days, and that's because it's easy for not just them but for everyone. So yeah. So you can see here that I'm going to use a towel to basically do the squeegee's job, and that's because the towel will also soak the water that is under the PPF, which obviously helps because we don't want water under the PPF. Alright, so I'm almost done, and as you can kind of see, I just need to kind of trim this stuff up. Now my hand is not smooth, the trim is going to be shit, but you will see how that looks like soon. My big issue is this corner. So obviously this headlight goes from the side to the edge, and as you can kind of imagine, sure, you could make this part straight, but up here you're going to have to make up for it somehow. So I took some part off over here. Obviously not an ideal solution and certainly very amateur, but I didn't know what else to do, so hopefully we won't have this problem with the cut version. Okay, so I did an amazingly terrible job. You can kind of see the outlines, you can see bubbles, you can see that the cut doesn't exactly line up. You can also see, it's hard to see over here, but maybe I can lift it to see, but this is basically my best job. I tried to cut it over here, but that didn't work. The line just kind of went cut, whoop, over there. Now I will say generally you should not have a problem with very straight areas. That is to say, if you're just trying to PPF something as simple as a hood, you'll be fine for 90% of it until you get to the corners. Now, if I were more careful, I could certainly trim over here to make it better. but I just do not have the skill to deal with a corner like this. We'll get to the corner in a second. I just want to tell you guys that whenever you're doing something like this, you don't want to leave PPF hanging off, because this is obviously not going to stick to anything and you're just going to get stuff there in there to lift it off. So generally what the pros do is that they either tuck this in or they just very carefully cut it off here. So if you take away one thing from this video, don't use bulk. This image should like scream at you why you shouldn't use bulk. Even if you think you're good, you're probably not as good as you think. So I ended up doing the right side as well. You can kind of see that from certain angles, you know, maybe you can tell, maybe you can't tell, but it certainly is a better job. Although I let it dry, so that's another difference. But let's point out the flaws. Again, this was a bulk. So over here, you're gonna see that the film kind of rises up a bit. Over down here, it's obviously not cut well. Same thing over here, so it's already rising, which is obviously bad. But it looks okay. It's just not trimmed properly at the bottom. So pre-cut. So you're gonna kind of notice that it has sort of like a wing, and this is to deal with the stretching, or I guess film collapsing issues that we had at the top of the headlights. So with this tiny montage here, you're gonna see how much easier it is to install a pre-cut. So first of all, tack one corner down and then just slightly tack the other corner down. So you can kind of see that I'm using the tack spray and basically just doing the flat part first. And then I'm gonna move on to the top, because the flat part was super easy, and the top is also incredibly easy. You can kind of see that I brought the napkin out. Certainly helps here, pushing the water out, especially with the corner between the top and the front flat face. But yeah, this was a much easier install. Can't stress how much easier it was, but I think you certainly have to have some experience, you know, DIYing first. Maybe try out the bulk film, see why it's hard, and then try the cut film and then see why it's easy. All right, so this is the next day, and just want to do a comparison between the pre-cut and the bulk. So at first glance, you may not actually notice much of a difference, but if you look here, you're gonna see I had to make some weird changes, like this flap is lifting up. We have fingers over here, which I can kind of still prod. But yeah, other than that, we have some flaws over here and flaws over here and weird jagged cuts. But if you look at the pre-cut side, hard for me to notice anything on first glance. I see maybe like a few air pockets or water pockets now and then. So there's kind of one there. There's, I think, a water pocket here and a water pocket here. This I did notice yesterday, but I've heard water pockets evaporate eventually. Air pockets stay, but I'm not even finding any air pockets. The only issue I can see is the alignment is here. So you hear that sound, that's where the alignment stops, which is kind of maybe like 2-3 mm off the bottom of the actual headlight. You can't really see it unless you're up close. And that's the thing with a lot of these pre-cuts. You can't really see them. I guess you can't really see the lines unless you're up close. For example, this line over here might look pre-cuts, but that's just a line in the actual headlight, and your mind just ignores that. So your mind is probably going to ignore all the pre-cut lines. But yeah, basically this looks honestly almost perfect. Sand some bubbles here and there, which you can't really see from the front fascia. You know, we see them from an angle. but certainly compared to this guy over here, you have fingers, some weird cuts, lifting up already over here. So yeah, pre-cut is the way to go. So yeah.